Most people have no clue what just went down between Donald Trump and Ilhan Omar. They might have seen a headline, maybe caught a clip on TikTok or Twitter, maybe overheard someone shouting about Minnesota welfare fraud and national security, and then they probably thought, okay, case closed, that's that. But they're dead wrong, because the reality is way bigger than Minnesota, way bigger than audits or angry sound bites. This wasn't some random clash. This was a calculated collision between two political brands built on completely opposite types of power. Trump wasn't just reacting. Omar wasn't just improvising. That public freakout you saw, that wasn't chaos. That was the pressure valve blowing after a quiet political war went public. If you pay attention to the timing, the messaging, the escalation, and the way both sides instantly pivoted to national narratives, one thing becomes clear. The board just tilted. And neither Trump nor Omar saw it coming. Here's what actually happened. Stripped down to the facts, Trump's federal audit teams rolled into Minnesota to comb through Medicaid and housing programs. The official reason? Fraud review, pretty standard, happens in multiple states every year. But the numbers they found raised red flags, so the audit teams dug deeper. Around the same time, conservative outlets, especially City Journal, started publishing reports pointing to spikes in certain welfare programs. They flagged oversight gaps and potential fraud networks. Nobody claimed terrorist financing or anything like that. These were patterns that analysts said needed a closer look. Trump, of course, saw a story at a press gaggle. He tied the alleged fraud to Somali immigrants more broadly. Suddenly, a routine audit became a national political headline. That's when Ilhan Omar jumped in. As the highest profile Somali American elected official and Minneapolis rep, she fired back hard, insisting the allegations were overblown, xenophobic, and baseless. Her tone, sharp, emotional, defensive, that instantly set the stage for a clash. Trump framing this as immigration and national identity, Omar framing it as an attack on her community. Within days, federal agencies confirmed the audits were expanding. Routine, yes, but widened due to concerns. No ties to extremism were mentioned, but the narrative had already escaped official channels, and that's where the real game started. At this level of politics, nothing happens by accident. You have to understand the players. Ilhan Omar is a lightning rod. For years, she's been one of the most polarizing figures in American politics. Supporters see her as a groundbreaking voice for marginalized communities. Critics see her as everything wrong with progressive politics, no middle ground. Her brand? Defend immigrant communities, push back hard against attacks, lean into confrontation. She doesn't retreat. Every time she's under pressure, she doubles down. Trump, on the other hand, is the narrative engineer. His political power thrives on spectacle, conflict, and defining opponents before they define him. Scandals aren't risks, they're fuel. He tells the story first, forces everyone else to react. Minnesota has history feeding our future, past board cases, lingering public frustration. That makes it fertile ground. Legally, audits can expand if anomalies are found, anything from clerical errors to criminal investigations. Politically, anomalies are a goldmine, and Trump knows how to weaponize them. Timing is everything. Trump is in campaign mode. Omar is in constant re-election mode. Both need attention. Both need momentum. A viral confrontation, pure political fuel. Past Trump behavior shows the goal isn't just criticism, it's redefinition. Omar has been in his sights before, but here's the kicker. Omar's response wasn't calm, it was emotional. And that's exactly how Trump likes it. He thrives when opponents react from emotion. So the stage was set, Trump pushing a story that hit Omar's political vulnerabilities, Omar reacting in a way that amplified the moment rather than contained it. A local audit instantly became national warfare. Now, let's peel back the layers. The surface story, Trump attacks Omar over fraud, misses the deeper game. This wasn't about fraud, it was about framing. The question isn't whether the Minnesota audits found wrongdoing. The question is whether Trump ever needed proof. And here's the bomb. Omar herself was never the target. Her reaction was, think about it. Omar is polarizing. Her base is defensive. Any attack on Minnesota's Somali community triggers a fiery response. Path A, the obvious move, attack the numbers, talk oversight, small headline dies in a day. Path B, the 4D chess move, link the fraud story to immigration, widen it, make it emotional, national, no proof needed, just trigger Omar's base, trigger her reaction. That reaction becomes the story. Trump scored 4 strategic wins almost immediately. 1, He reframed the national, no proof needed, just trigger Omar's base, trigger her reaction. That reaction becomes the story. Meanwhile, while everyone was focused on Trump's quotes, three other moves were happening quietly. DOJ quietly expanded fraud operations. DHS pulled immigration data on high-risk individuals. Um, and conservative media ran coordinated op-eds framing Minnesota as a national security hotspot. Coincidence? Not a chance. The result? Conservative voters energized, Omar's supporters enraged, neutral observers confused, media in a frenzy, social media ablaze. Omar's defense didn't calm anything, it amplified everything. Trump wasn't playing defense. He created the storm and placed himself at the center. That's not chaos, that's strategy. Short term, over the next 30, 90 days, Trump will push this framing repeatedly at rallies, especially in swing states. Minnesota corruption will become shorthand for broader immigration issues. The audits themselves, slow, quiet legal processes, politically irrelevant. The headlines matter more. Medium term, 6 months out, expect state and federal agencies to release some fraud actions. Minnesota has a history of prosecutions for improper benefits distribution. Even unrelated indictments will be folded into the narrative by Trump's orbit. Omar will push to separate herself from any fraud stories, but politically, separation is almost impossible once the narrative cements. Policy-wise, Trump will fold this into immigration proposals, tighter refugee vetting, remittance tracking, linking welfare oversight to immigration enforcement. Whether non-citizens are actually involved or not doesn't matter. The narrative alone is enough. Wildcard scenario: if a high-profile arrest emerges from Minnesota, even unrelated to Omar, one viral headline can supercharge the story instantly. We're witnessing a shift from fact-based politics to narrative-based politics. Audits matter less than perception. Perception moves faster than verification. 5 years from now, people won't remember audit numbers. They'll remember Trump exposed Minnesota, Omar melted down, something big happened, and that memory, accurate or not, becomes reality. The takeaway? Power today isn't about who holds the documents. It's about who controls the story. Trump showed how quickly a bureaucratic audit can become a national firestorm. Omar showed how an emotional response can amplify an attack instead of neutralizing it. This is political jiu-jitsu in real-time: pressure, perception, and panic-moving public opinion. The uncomfortable truth: whether you think Trump is fighting corruption or weaponizing fear, whether you think Omar is defending her community or losing control, both are playing for survival. Both fight for narrative dominance. In today's political system, perception shapes reality far faster than reality shapes perception. The real question isn't who is right or wrong. The real question is who controlled the narrative, who framed the moment, who walked away with momentum. Because the side that controls the narrative controls the future. Right now, one side is on offense, the other is scrambling to respond. And the only question left: what happens when the next order drops, and who will shape the story first?